Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I really appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me. So a couple weeks ago I put up a poll asking what people would like to see next outside of politics, and the winning vote was board games. This one's called Saga, and I got this at Gen Con of 2019, I believe. Got a really good deal on it, but we played through the whole base game and now we're currently going through this particular expansion. All right, so the way the game works is you start off on an area and continue to explore a maze that will continue to expand as you go out. So some of the rooms that can come out are these guys. And this will be a surprise and a secret to all of the players, except for there can be one player who is basically the mastermind, or there's one player that is basically the GM. So here's what the map will end up looking like on this particular scenario anyway, once all is said and done. But as you progress, you can encounter these different monsters, and there are random effects that will summon them. So these are some of the cards that you'll encounter. Oops, those are bad examples. Those are fixed ones. But they'll have a NPC skill, where if there's not a player playing as the mastermind, how many monsters come out, the level's worth, and then that little symbol is who they want to target. Everybody has a little symbol that is assigned to them, and that determines how the AI is going to attack the people. If you notice there's a bunch of shell casings, you can kind of ignore that because that's kind of a semi-house rule, but we basically use these as currency. Like I said, house rule. But as the game goes, you find loot, or you can purchase loot, either finding it in crates or getting money in crates, and then after each mission you can buy new stuff. You can also, these shell casings we're using as skills. But these cards will level up your character, and you spend skill points to do such. And each character has its own special, unique skills and abilities. So each character has a set of stats. The running man is how much speed, how many spaces they can move per turn. The little shooty bullets is how many dice that they roll when they make a ranged attack. The fist is basically a melee attack. The chest plate is how much defense they have, so how many dice they roll when they defend. And the little exploding tech device thingy, that's how many technology dice they roll whenever they're trying to hack a terminal, open a door, unlock a door, something like that. And the dice you roll are these guys. So one side is a blank, one side is a critical hit. There are two sides that are grazes. There's one, there's the other. And then two sides that are hits. And the attacker will roll their appropriate number of dice. The defender will roll their appropriate number of dice. Then they'll compare. So this crit will block this crit. This graze will block neither of the two hits. So basically the attacker gets 2 damage to come through. And that's pretty much how all tech checks work, and all combat against all monsters as well. And the monsters have their own particular unique traits, just like the characters, and they have their own special abilities, and that changes from expansion to expansion. Also, each time you deal damage to an enemy, you'll see this little experience tracker. That will continue to go up, and as you reach 15, you'll start back at 0 and gain a skill point. And the skill points we're using is 308 shell casings because we ran out of skill points. So as you continue to gain skill points, you level up and you gain skills. All right, so start of my turn, I'm gonna go ahead and move, and my move speed is determined by that little running man symbol with the, yep, there we go. With the 6 next to it, it's not focusing, whatever. All right, so what that means is I can move that number of spaces. So I'm gonna take my little guy right here. There we go. And I'm gonna move him. Oh my gosh. There we go. 6 spaces. 1, 2, 3. He can move diagonally through empty spaces. So 4, 5, and then 6. So he's gonna stand right here next to this guy. So his back is to this wall, because if he gets attacked in the back, he gets a debuff to his defense, and he can attack everything that is in front of his front arc, which are these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spaces. All right. So he's gonna attack that guy, and see how that pans out. So his attack is this little fisticuffs right here, that number 4. So he gets to roll 4 dice, but he has this other skill that gives him +1 assault. So he gets to roll 5 of these dice right here. Now the enemy that he's fighting is a super little squishy dude. He only has 2 defense, as noted right here. So he only rolls 2 dice. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and roll. And that is really hard to see. All right, so this crit will block. So he rolled a crit and a graze. I rolled, bless you. So I rolled a blank and 2 hits and 2 grazes. So this graze will block this graze. and this crit will block this hit. Now I have special abilities that can force him to reroll, but I have 2 hits coming through, and 1 hit is enough to kill him since he only has 1 hit point, so he dies. All right, just a rules clarification. As far as the dice are concerned, the defense dice can block anything smaller than it. For example, a critical block can block a critical hit. A regular block can block a graze or a hit, but a graze block can only block a graze attack. So for example, if this setup were the attacker got a crit, hit, and a graze, and this changed to a crit and 2 hits, then this would be blocked here, this would be blocked here, but this graze cannot block against this die, therefore the attacker would get 1 damage to come through. On the flip side, if the setup was like this, then the attacker had 3 hits, the defender can block, again, nothing with the graze, this hit can block any of these 3, and this crit can block any of these 3 as well. As for movement, the player's move number spaces equal to their character card. For example, this character has move speed of 5. So they can move any direction as long as there are empty spaces and no obstacles in the way. They may also move diagonally if both spaces that they're moving through are also empty. And then they can come here, and then they will make a melee attack based on what is in their front arc. So this is the front arc, are basically the 5 spaces in front of them. The 3 spaces that would be behind them is their rear, or basically a line that is behind the character and anything behind it. If they are attacked from their rear, then they receive a -1 to their defense die. So basically, if their defense is 3, they would normally roll 3 dice. If they're attacked in the back, they would instead roll only 2 dice. So the other instance is cover. So let's say there's an enemy that is over here. This is not an enemy, just FYI. So let's say there's an enemy right here. In order to attack that enemy, you have to have line of sight in order to shoot them. Otherwise, you just have to be adjacent for a melee or an assault attack. To shoot, you have to be within range, and range is denoted by short or by long. And long, well, long is a bit longer. So basically you have to place this, the base of this piece into the base of the space where your character is standing, and you have to be able to touch any part of the square that the target is in, which in this case would be any of this space right here. Now, in the event that there is something in between that is blocking your line of sight, so for example, you're able to touch it, but you do clip an edge to where you cannot touch both, basically all 3 corners without touching something. So for example, if you're going to make a shooting attack from here, let me zoom out a little bit. If you're going to make a shooting attack from here, then this corner right here would block your line of sight from being able to touch this edge at this point. So that means this character is behind cover, so they would get +1 to their defense, meaning they get to roll 1 extra defense die. Now there is a thing called a pot shot, where you can attack from any adjacent space as long as it is empty. You don't actually move your character there, you just shoot as if you're attacking from there. So in this case, if the character is attacking from here, they can do a pot shot from effectively this space, which there would have full line of sight with nothing obstructing it, therefore they get a full attack roll. Lastly, we have the Nemesis cards. These are ranging from level 1, ooh, focus, it's right here. Level 1, all the way up to level 2, and then to max is level 3. So these vary in potency, and at the beginning of each mission, you'll be told exactly how to construct the, quote, Nemesis deck, and that will tell you basically how to build the deck and what cards to shuffle in. How many level 1s, how many level 2s, how many level 3s, and there are some scenario-specific cards that are black. These will also be placed into the deck at specified intervals as well. So if you're not playing with the Nemesis character, basically one of the players is controlling all of the enemies and playing cards against them. You can have an AI variant, which the AI variant will then play cards and essentially activate what is in this green box down here and ignore the text up here. As far as how to play the game, that pretty much covers it. And as always, I really appreciate you watching, and stay classy. See you in the next one. All right, on the enemy's turn, the first ones to activate are the ones remaining on the board, which is just this guy. So he's gonna activate, and what he's gonna do is he's gonna move 6 spaces towards me, and I'm right here, but these 2 guys are in the way. So he's gonna go this way. He's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. He cannot move any further, but he will do a close ranged attack against this guy, because this guy is closer towards me.
So I see that this first room is revealed already. Why is that?
Oh my gosh, kidding me. All right. You can take your turn. This part. All right, so that ends the enemy's turn. And now, or ends our turn. Bah, hit record.